Hi there. I have a journal for you, and I don't remember what's in it, but its title is Joy and Choice: Path to Awakening. And I guess I'm working through some of my stuff because I feel like joy and choice. This is from 10/1 of 2010, the first of that day, and it was an 11 day, 11 rabbit or star. It's been some time since I started out the day with a journal like this. They have either been absent lately or live. Interesting, isn't it? How something can be one way for so long, then suddenly just not. Hmm, I don't even really feel like journaling now. Perhaps I do it more from habit. I don't know. A little exploring, I guess. I just know my mornings have been sacred to me for the longest time. Yet lately, I've been turning the internet on, getting right into uploading or recording and such. Very strange. What of my determination to leave it off until closer to noon? Another One might think I sail along in heart all the time and without a thought or a care. Well, one would be wrong. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I really don't know. I just know it pays to be present, to be focused and centered, aware. We are not in heaven yet. This environment is a worthy challenge. It pays to stay on your toes. Also, if one remains humble, then one is aware it is quite possible to slip under the influence of something. These things are designed to be subtle, to catch one off guard. It pays to take stock now and then, be sure one is clear of such things, especially when things are changing from ways one set up, such as the internet thing. Little things maybe, but they are the signs to be watched, to be ever alert. Just the little things. Much is hidden there, but we're usually too much in a hurry to spot these things. If we're not suspicious, we never will. I trust heart and nothing else. Certainly not mind. It's rather enjoyable, actually. There's such an underlying joy to everything. Did you know that? It's always there, always been there. We don't find it because, first, we don't know that it's there, and second, we don't seek it. It's a heart thing, though, and as we enter heart more and more, we link up with it. We begin to get familiar with this inner sense of real joy. In my 200 plus mile round trip yesterday to Little Rock, I got stuck in work traffic on the way home. It added an extra almost hour to the trip. It was anything but interesting, all that stop and go stuff. Yet I was so plugged into joy that I rode right on through it that way. I saw the temptation to irritation and grouchiness arise, and I laughed. Why waste a moment on that? How unnecessary that is. I realized when the temptation was strongest, it was because I was identifying with the body in the car. So I spread out again. I expanded out into the beautiful nature, the trees and the grasses, the sky and the clouds and all that. I plugged into the sun quite a lot. And I guess I mentioned it in here somewhere, but also when you're in a traffic jam, it's not just you, that feeling of irritation and grouchiness and frustration. My friends, that's all the people in the other cars. Just unplug from it. All right. There's no need to be cramped into these forms we wear, dear friends. They're not the limits of you. You are as vast as you want to be. You are all of cosmos if you choose that. That's available to each and all. And well, why not? Hmm? The higher part of you is not needed to drive the car, The body can do that. I flew on joy the whole way, and that's a 2-hour trip each way, plus traffic. And I'm glad it even carried me through the traffic jams. Joy so intense, I floated away on it at different times. I was working too on lighting up my life quilt, shining that joy into each little square. Links in the transcript to that journal. Into some squares it was easy. Others were quite resistant to that. I found it very interesting. I was aware at times, too, how being joy so intensely was a blessing to those in the cars around me, though the people had no idea what was what, consciously, of course. Well, unless there were some that were more aware. Very few drive around in our higher consciousness, or we'd be more likely to know to connect up with that intentionally. Anything is possible, Don't forget, we're all telepathic. You're kidding yourself if you think otherwise. You're just wearing blinders of beliefs. Just stay in heart with this as much as you can. Going into head to try to examine or prove something, well, good luck with that. This is a different sort of thing, a different way entirely. I keep saying how different is the inner kingdom, the kingdom of heart, but I wonder how many really hear me, take me seriously. Oh well, we take in what we can at any one point, and that's surely enough. If we want it to be more, we can make it so over time. Intention is quite powerful, but things have to be given up. This is where people fail. They step off the path. They want to keep all of their things and their thing consciousness and have this besides. That doesn't work. How could it? How ridiculous. Oh well, I guess one doesn't get to see how ridiculous it is until one is on the other side of the equation, though. God's sense of humor again. Life really is quite funny, yet in a most marvelous and gentle way. Truly. Where we put dark intentions, dark actions upon God, project them, well, two possibilities there. The first is that we're projecting our own stuff on Source. The other is that we're mistaking one of the alien gods for the real thing. Those fancy ETs have played at being God often enough down through the eons. Much of mankind has fallen for that at one time, one century or another. Well, to hell with that. I'm fed up with it. In heart, you know God from God, big G from little g. You can sniff it out somehow. You're so much more difficult to deceive when you take up your station in the heart. It changes you, though. Be ready for that. You won't remain the same. And I'm going to step out here and say, I don't mean to be so arrogant because, you know, no matter what you conquer, there's always something up ahead that's so much more subtle, or, you know, we're going up the spiral, and the challenges, the joys, the delights are never ending. So it never pays to think you've got something totally mastered. Don't set yourself up that way. I try not to. This is a living path, I guess you could say. The changes are generally tremendously radical, but sometimes they aren't. Mostly, though, all right, I've made a mistake in my writing here. The changes are not generally tremendously radical, but sometimes they really are. Mostly, though, they are more subtle, but you are quite constantly changing. Are you noticing it? You can't be attached to anything, nothing at all. Emptiness rocks. It's an interesting trek. I highly recommend it. Are you so happy with the way your life has gone thus far? What's to lose, really, right? What are your options there? Would you like to have wider, broader ones? You do, you know. The path of heart is open to one and all. It's got some initial hurdles that are very strange, very trying, in fact, to the outer mind. You think you can't do it. The odd thing is, though, that once you get over those, you realize that you left all the difficulty behind somehow. It just vanished. You don't know where it went or how or anything else. It's just gone. You can look back, though, and see how it was all mind created. Every bit of it. It was just you refusing to let go of the death grip on mind, or rather, the death grip that mind has on you. That was all. That's a mighty big hurdle. Perhaps the biggest one, I admit, but it's all in how we see things. That's what's got to change. So just keep working on your perspective. That will get you there. Plus, it will activate your third eye chakra a good bit. We're practicing seeing in a lot of these journals, you know. Through the brow chakra, you access your higher ability sight along with your eyes of heart. Both come online for you. You'll be pleased at some point. When I wrote when, that is strictly up to you. I don't know. It depends on your definition of you, now doesn't it? It's a choice. Every day, every minute, every now. It's all built upon choice, endless choices. How are your choices coming along? Are you pleased with them? Do you give them your best shot? Or do you take second best, maybe too often for internal comfort? Only you can know this, and you do. Be empowered, my dear friends. Cease thinking of yourselves as these measly, minuscule nothings they want you to believe the self is. Started out the day with a journal like this. They have either been absent lately or live. Interesting, isn't it? How something can be one way for so long, then suddenly just not for the longest time. Yet lately, I've been turning the internet on, getting right into uploading or recording and such. Very strange. What of my determination to leave it off until, I don't even really feel like journaling now. Perhaps I do it more from habit. I don't know. A little exploring, I guess. I just know my mornings have been sacred to me. Hi there. I have a journal for you. And I don't remember what's in it, but its title is Joy and Choice, Path to Awakening. And I guess I'm working through some of my stuff because I feel like joy and choice. This is from 10/1 of 2010, the first of that day, and it was an 11 day, 11 rabbit or star. It's been some time since I started